1 and 23. Come on down.
Take a little bit of a step back, guys. Try to find a little light there. That's better. Quarter turn to your right, please.
All right, Dan
And
Solomon
another
along with
quarter
Bob
turn,
Ciccarello. We are back here in Dallas watching the 202s. And Bob, we have started to whittle down the field. We're going to learn very soon
And another
who
quarter
our
turn.
under 202 champion is, and it's turned out to be one of the real tough parts of this weekend, figuring out who is the cream of this 202 crop.
Face front.
And this is the final pose down, Dan. You got your top five out there. No real surprises here, as you're seeing Rock Shabazz. You're seeing Flex Lewis, George Farah, Curtis Bryant, and Jaroslav Horvath in the middle. These guys are getting rejudged right now, Dan, so don't think for a minute that the judges are not reassessing these guys. It's important to keep the conditioning as the night goes on because they are going to get rejudged now.
Well, Horvath and George Farah, of course, they are the veterans of this group. Horvath has had a good career in the open class long before the 202 ever came into existence. So you could make a good case that Horvath might have to be considered the favorite. But obviously the way things played out in prejudging and, of course, coming off that big showing in Tampa last week, Flex Lewis is certainly the odds-on favorite going into this thing. And Flex Lewis really continues to show some incredible conditioning, deep separation, and that freaky detail through the quads and hamstrings, and that might turn out to be his trademark as he progresses in his career.
Well, he should be considered the favorite right here, I believe. What's going to be interesting to see is if head judge Jim Raquel decides to move them around. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. With five guys, the judges can see them all equally, but given the lighting situation here, Dan, where you got hot spots and dead spots, I would be very surprised if they didn't move them around to give them an equal opportunity.
In the case of Curtis Bryant, let's be reminded now, he is making his professional debut. He's never walked on a pro stage before, and he's already in the top five of his first 202. So great showing for Curtis Bryant, regardless of how it plays out. And then, of course, the return of George Farah to the pro stage. He lands in the top five of the 202. So some great stories here. I know Rock Shabazz has been trying to climb that ladder, and I know his goal really is to land in the top three. So, Bob, a lot of drama playing out within this group.
Pose down music in the back.
Now, you know what, Dan? When it comes to pick and pose down music, I got to give credit where credit's due. This guy is number one in my book.
I couldn't think of a better segue than to mention the fact that James Flex Lewis will be one of our guests on Monday's edition of Pro Bodybuilding Weekly. We hope you'll tune into that. He's actually going to be chatting with Larry Pepe, but we're going to be crowning the champion in just a few moments. Pose down music is on. They are on their feet here in Dallas. 202, Bob, it's becoming more and more popular, more and more significant for the promoters. And based on the condition of these guys, this 202 is no longer secondary the way it used to be when it first came out.
No, it's not, Dan. And all five guys, I'd like to note right now, qualify for the 202 showdown at the Olympia this year. So all five guys qualifying for the Olympia. Speaking of the Olympia, Dan, that'll be on our next webcast.
Yeah, we're back in Las Vegas 6 weeks from tonight for the 2008 Olympia weekend. And, of course, we will be presenting a webcast right here exclusively at bodybuilding.com. The folks at Chapman Media Group who continue to set the standard really for these webcasts, these productions, and they're starting to get organized and get everything rolled out for the Olympia webcast, and we'll have all the events covered both Friday and Saturday night. So details to follow at bodybuilding.com. But, Bob, we got to get down to business now. We are going to crown our second Europa under 202 champion. This is actually the first event who is now on its second go-around because the 210 debuted here 1 year ago.
I tell you what, it's a tough top five when Tricky Jackson is not in the top five. He looked very good, great posing, of course, as usual, but very tough top five here in the 202. I'll be curious to see if the judges have made any adjustments from what we called earlier.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're ready to give out the trophy.
Got to go ahead and give a big shout out to the folks at Europa. Eric Hillman and his crew continue to support this event and have made it one of the real signature events on the calendar. And of course, everyone over at Muscle Tech for helping us bring you this webcast. And we're going to now pass it off to the microphone for the announcement of our top 5.
Here. I'll take a bull blaster if you got one back there. You can hook that up. Let me have my 5th place trophy presenter out there on the floor, please. I think they're all the same, are they? No, you got them marked out there. Who's got our 5th place? He's got 3rd, you got 2nd, you got 1st over there. Got 5th? Betty, please walk that out there to number 21, George Farah.
And George Farah announced in 5th place, Dan. Not a big surprise there. A lot of people actually thought George was anywhere from 5th to even actually behind there with obviously a tight class.
Trophy goes to number 5, Curtis Bryant.
Well, there he is, his professional debut. He lands in the top 5. The best part about it for him, this 4th place finish sends him straight to Las Vegas, where he'll compete in the big Under 202 event next month in Las Vegas.
Sure does. Look for the name of Jaroslav Horvath.
Jaroslav Horvath, number 14.
Well, Rex, the MC, did his best to pronounce the name Jaroslav Horvath, our 3rd place finisher, and this is the 2nd week in a row now that Horvath checks in 3rd place.
And a deserving place here. Dan, I got to stick with my original here. I'm going to go with Rock Shabazz, runner-up. Flex Lewis, your winner.
Shabazz,
and there it is.
And good for Rock Shabazz. You know, Rock Shabazz continues to do the work, and I know he really wanted to climb the ladder. Last week he was disappointed. He felt like he should have been higher. We agreed. So Rock Shabazz checks in.
Hand it over to number 23.
In the 2nd place spot, and our champion here at the Europa 2008 Under 202 is James Flex Lewis, the pride of Wales. I know everyone back in Wales is watching this webcast. We welcome you. We congratulate Flex Lewis on a big, big win in just his 2nd professional contest.
Flex Lewis takes the place of Tom Jones, Wales' favorite son. The torch has been passed, Dan. But you know what? I got the idea and the feeling here that this is the first of many titles that we're going to see for Flex Lewis in this 202 division. He knows this is his division. And I talked to him earlier. I'm not so sure we're going to see him in many more open competitions, as he's going to basically establish this as his stomping grounds. I think that's smart.
Well, the question is, Bob, you make a good point. Is he going to continue to try to dominate the Under 202, or is he going to take a year or 2 years off, try to pack on some size?